Hey guys, welcome to the Shitcoin.com newsletter roundup. I'm Blake, editor of the Shitcoin.com podcast, and I'm here with our head honcho, CEO of Shitcoin.com himself, Andreas Brekken. How's it going, Andreas?
It's a pleasure to be here. First show. This is it's a big moment in the Shitcoin.com history.
No, we just thought that it would be cool to just add a little bit more commentary. So if you guys don't know, every week we run through the best stories that Andreas has picked up on, a lot from crypto Twitter, but just in the general media as well, and crypto media. We put all that out there on the shitcoin.com newsletter. If you aren't subscribed to that, head to shitcoin.com/newsletter, get signed up there. But yeah, we thought why not just post a little bit of commentary. So if you have been hovering around Twitter or anywhere this week, you'll see it's been spicy again. Yeah, I guess the biggest thing that literally happened in like the last 12 to 24 hours is all this Craig Wright stuff, right?
Oh, it's so good. They're breaking up again.
Again. I noticed. So for those of you that don't know, everyone's been kind of putting their stance out there with Bitcoin SV, and you can probably go into more detail about it, Andreas, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I kept getting messages today. Everybody keeps asking me, like, what do you think about Bitcoin SV versus Bitcoin ABC? But the thing is, I don't really follow it that closely. As far as I'm concerned, like, they're just like two different implementations. They want different features, but we don't really need any of the features. So it seems like they're just arguing over who's going to get the power, like who's going to control Bitcoin Cash. And I think it's just a lot of shit posting. I think just a lot of drama, which is good for us because we get to write about it. But as far as like which implementation you should choose on the technical merits, I don't know, man. Like, I think Bitcoin Cash has seen enough changes, but I'm just going to go with ABC. I mean, we both know Omri Sachet, and he's a smart dude and very likable.
Yeah,
so I would much rather have him.
It feels like a lot of I don't know, Craig Wright drama, doesn't it? Just
Craig Wright drama.
He loves it. Like so he actually came out. So Bitcoin.com announced that. Which is a disclaimer. I work for Bitcoin.com as well. So, I have to be careful what I say a little bit too, but just say the facts. They came out and said that they're going to be running Bitcoin ABC and Bitcoin Unlimited, right?
Yeah, for the mining pool.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty much a non-story.
Pretty big deal. I mean, it's not a small mining pool anymore.
Yeah, but I don't. Then they've just chosen not to change anything, right? I think that's the way it's gone. They're just kind of keeping things as normal.
Yeah, basically.
But then Craig Wright's come out and told Roger Ver to, I don't know, for want of a better word, fuck off.
I mean, that is his go-to phrase. Is just to tell people to fuck off.
Yeah. And
I can't do the accent. You can do the accent.
But so it's getting pretty interesting, and I don't know. It's gonna be cool to see what happens in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it's on the 15th.
That's correct. Yeah, 15th. So literally 12 days.
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because I'm just really intrigued as well. So tell me if this sounds stupid, right? And I don't know so much about mining either, but with Jihan, with like via BTC and Antpool having so much of the hash rate on BTC, would they not be able to like point the hash rate at BCH and then literally just that's way more, right? Or am I being stupid with that? I don't know.
Oh, sorry, you're lagging a little bit. Give me a second here.
We seem to have lost Andreas there. We'll get him back in a moment. So as I was saying, guys, head over to shitcoin.com/newsletter to get signed up to our newsletter. You can also visit the Telegram chat on there. We have a Telegram chat with there's about 300-400 people in there right now. see where Andreas is. As far as I know, we are still live. He says I'll be right back, fixing the lag situation. Also, just so you guys know, the latest newsletter. So we're actually on number 16 now. So yeah, we're quite a few in. That'll be going out later today, just after we've wrapped up the podcast / roundup, whatever you want to call it. Where I feel like we may have him back. There we go. You back?
All right. Here.
Nice. Can you hear me? Oh, we seem to be experiencing some lag.
I think it's just my.
Yeah, it's all good. Is it working? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's definitely on my side.
So good. All good. Okay. So I just left the live stream going because I think when you stop them, we're super new to this. We're still working this out, trying to see how this will all work going forward. Maybe there's a better way we do this, but we just thought the live stream was the most seamless way to get it out there. So I guess yeah, just moving on from Craig Wright. I think I've thought enough about Craig Wright for today. I feel like my Craig Wright mental quota is about full. So what else is in the news this week? So there's been, yeah, I guess the key thing is that everyone still thinks we're in a bear market. Nothing has changed on that front. Which has meant that actually Andreas seems to have dropped off again. Maybe we'll have to try and re-record this. Let's have a look. Hello?
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so I was just saying that I think our Craig Wright mental quota is probably done for the day. I feel like I can't think about Craig Wright anymore until some more news comes out. But I guess
I've been getting my dose of Twitter today. It's just too beautiful.
But I think the other thing that it's kind of funny because this week with the newsletter we were it was kind of been following a similar theme for the last few weeks, being very bear market focused. So
yeah, pick it up on small things to make your life a little more bearable.
Exactly. It's literally just like picking up on shit posting, going to our favorite people in the community, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the other big stuff that's happened this week, so it was actually like maybe Bitcoin's 10th anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it, right? But was it?
Yeah, what was the confusion around that? So, I mean, we have so many dates. There was an initial email that was sent out to, to the mailing list, like the cypherpunks, by Satoshi, saying, hey, here's this thing. And then there's the date on the white paper being released, and there's a date of the Genesis block. And you can just keep finding anniversaries. And before we start recording, I said, what's funny about this is in Bitcoin, we just love fighting so much that as soon as somebody said, "Hey guys, it's the 10th anniversary for Bitcoin. You know, I'm made a cake. We're gonna have a party at my office, whatever." As soon as somebody did that, people start fighting, and they're like, "No, this isn't the real anniversary for Bitcoin."
Oh yeah.
So never boring.
No, but it like you said, it is so funny that literally even on a something like a birthday, you can see so
Right.
many people have a heated discussion about that. Is
Yeah, an opinion of if it's a real birthday or not.
but I guess that's why it's fun, right?
Yeah, of
never
course.
never gets old. Never gets old. But also, so Russ
How did
Ulbricht
you
this week.
celebrate?
How did I celebrate?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I bought something, but I didn't really. Yeah. What about you? How were your celebrations?
I sat on Twitter, you know, crypto Twitter. That's pretty good.
Nice. No. I saw there are a few like meetups happening in a few different parties and stuff, right? But yeah, there's nothing happening where I am. But maybe next year. But I saw as well. I saw as well that yeah, Russ Ulbricht had put out a pretty cool letter, just saying happy birthday Bitcoin, and yeah, I think the key points that found in that was that he still thinks he sees himself as like a father figure to the
Right.
rich people, and also
Yeah.
that it's still so young, like 10 years in, but people talk about it as if it's like this big thing, but is it really?
Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, we're both probably going to an Acapulco next year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And his mom, Lynn Ulbricht, she's been there. I would say a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, she's always very optimistic about things, but it's
It's a
still
rough
like
spot.
it's still really sad.
Yeah, yeah, because so it's what, full life sentence with no possibility of parole, right? I think that's like the current stance on it.
Yeah, as far as I know, it would take a pardon. But the thing is, like somebody wrote, the war on drugs is ending, and
Yeah,
it's very clear who won. I mean, the drugs won
yeah,
because countries are legalizing weed, and probably they're going to start using MDMA for PTSD treatment in the US.
yeah.
So the drugs are definitely winning. The other side has made no ground. So I guess what we can hope for is just all the things become legal, and then it would just seem very silly to keep people in prison for something that is now legal.
Right. I think in the US though, there are still quite a lot of people that are still in jail for like weed related things, right? It's insane that
I think it's the vast majority.
yeah, but it's so crazy that like you can go through a whole legalization process, yet there's still that huge backlog of people that are literally serving sentences for something that's not illegal. It's insane.
Yeah, it's still as if you're not a politician or lawyer, and I'm none of those and don't want to be,
Yeah,
it just seems absurd. But
yeah,
maybe it makes sense to those people.
yeah, yeah. But I guess the key thing with the Russ Ulbricht case is I really think it's really great what they're doing with Twitter though. What his family are doing with Twitter. I think it's really
Yeah,
unique
Free Ross.
perspective, and yeah, it's pretty cool, right? I think
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
to get his thoughts like out there in the public, it kind of like keeps it still a thing in the community, which is cool, and it's
Yeah, I
still
mean,
getting
and
coverage.
even now it's like he's in isolation, basically. It
Crazy,
was a little unclear why that happened, but I think it's because he didn't want to join in on some violent effort or something.
right? Yeah, it was like someone asked him to assault someone. I think I might be getting that wrong, but yeah, I think that was
Right.
on the right lines, and he said no.
And like
So
anybody, yeah. So he's basically, they said he's like a violent, dangerous guy. So they put him in a place that is just filled with violent and crazy people. And even then, he refuses to do anything violent.
insane. It's yeah, doesn't make sense. But yeah, you guys should definitely go check out the letter, and yeah, what's the website? It's freeross.org, right? I think that's the place to go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make totally sure here. Free. See, it is freeross.org. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. You guys should go check it out, sign the petition, and
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're still taking donations. You can imagine how much it costs to keep fighting this thing. So everybody should spend, which is I think it's spelled SPEDN.
no hodling, guys.
Everyone's absolutely send some money over there.
For sure, for sure.
And
also
come to Acapulco in 2019.
Yeah, should be cool. Should be cool. Maybe we'll do a shitcoin.com podcast there, little podcast series.
We'll have to. We can have some all-star guests.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be cool. We've got time between now and then to get things pushing forward. So so then also this week, I guess what's interesting about a bear market is that business doesn't seem to stop, and if anything, they're still doing it's like business as usual, right? Coinbase announced 300 million Series E round.
Yeah, which put them at a valuation of 8 billion, was it?
Yeah, I think it was 8 billion. Yeah,
wow,
it's
huge.
But they're also talking about, so Brian Armstrong came out and said that they want to kind of roll out more shitcoins on the platform, right? I think that's kind of the angle.
I mean, I think they should. It's always hard in Bitcoin to, well, I mean, I've worked at some exchanges, including Justcoin and Kraken. And the thing is, you got to stay ahead of the game to make money.
Yeah.
So, when people are doing altcoins, you got to list altcoins. When people are into ICOs, you got to list the ICOs. It's just, and now like when people are doing stable coins, which is a very strange term because they're IOUs, they're not stable coins.
Mm-hmm.
A stable coin is something that keeps itself stable, like a smart contract.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Coinbase, like they're on the ball. They're just like, whatever people want, that's what we're gonna give you.
I guess as well, you just have to look at like Binance, right? Like what a missed opportunity if you're not kind of following that and seeing how insanely fast they've grown on the back of listing everything.
Yeah, Binance is amazing, but it's still important to remember that what is the biggest exchange seems to change almost every year.
Yeah.
For example, you've probably never used Bitstamp.
No, never used it.
That used to be the biggest exchange by far. Before then, it was MTGOX.
Yeah.
And after then, it keeps changing every year. So the exchange business is you make money, but to stay number one or to stay in the very top is really tough because like Bitstamp is not in the top anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as well, I think Binance, it became like $1 billion company within 6 months, right? Like the growth, like literally insane. Yeah. The time frames are just so small. It's crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah, the exchange game. Interesting one. Does it would you ever get back into exchange life, or was it a bit of a headache?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. The thing to remember about exchanges is when you want to process deposits and withdrawals for Bitcoin or Litecoin, whatever, that is extremely easy. You just write the software, it detects the deposits, and like that's it. It works. And you can probably use the same code you wrote in 2012. You can use it today. I think many exchanges are running the same code.
Yeah.
So what you end up doing is spending all your time on fiat because the banking system never works. Like the SWIFT system or SEPA, you receive the payments and like the invoice number is gone, or you never get it, or you get it multiple times. And it's just a never-ending story. So you end up spending a lot of time on legacy banking, which is why I would recommend if anybody wants to start an exchange or work at one, just make sure they don't have fiat because it is a pain.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just have Tether.
Yeah.
And let somebody else deal with the KYC and everything.
But interestingly, do you see the Tether thing this week? Actually, did you catch that?
The one where people are taking out money.
No, so they released a letter. They released a signed letter. I think this was just yesterday, actually. A signed letter from a bank in the Bahamas stating that they had like just, I think it was 2 billion in the account. But it's like it's not been signed. It's been signed by no one. and
Yeah.
it was dated on the day. So there was a ton of stuff around it which looked a bit sketchy.
Yeah. So because I am in the inner circle, I have actually, the bank is called Deltec, and
Yeah.
I was actually at their anniversary party for the company
Interesting.
in the Bahamas. That was,
Okay.
I believe it was this year.
Okay.
So I have a lot of juicy gossip
So they're a
about
real
what's
thing.
real.
They're a real.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. I have,
Interesting.
yeah, I've got all the juicy gossip that you plebs will just never know.
Maybe one day. Maybe one.
Or maybe one day.
But
Maybe one day.
it's really interesting though. I just I love going into all the Bitfinex stuff, and yeah, it's an interesting one, right? But if they can prove they have it, then
It's very strange. So I'll tell you my very short opinion on Tether, which is the money is definitely there.
yeah,
There is no crazy conspiracy here. The money's there. But the question is always like, how easy is it to get the money out?
yeah,
Because the Bahamas is a tax haven, right, for Americans. You can't just move money from the Bahamas to Europe or Hong Kong or Singapore or the places where all these other exchanges are. Like, they're gonna red flag your account immediately.
yeah,
Bahamas is viewed as very sketchy by Asia and Europe. So if the money is there, but you can't have it to the bank account you want, then I think that's more interesting than saying that it's not there.
yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah,
It almost makes it a liquid. So I'm surprised Bitfinex always went for the angle where they say the money's not there, when the money is definitely there. But what bank is it then? Can you get it out? How long would that take? How much would it cost?
yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but have you been diving into stablecoins much with the whole like recent wave? Have you been following that?
I haven't really. I mean, it's a concept that was started by Ripple,
Mm-hmm.
because they always had a system where you could, if you're an exchange, you could use the Ripple network to send, IOUs,
Right.
like pieces of paper where you have a claim to money in their bank account. You could send it over Ripple. So like I could have dollars on Bitstamp, and I could send it from Bitstamp to, I'm just gonna make it up, to Kraken, and withdraw the dollars there. But it never got popular. I'm not sure why. So I think it's a great thing,
Yeah.
because I mean, what people do a lot is they use fiat to do arbitrage on exchanges. When there's a price difference, they move crypto one way and fiat the other way, and they take an advantage of the spread. But if you can move your Tether USD or your Circle USD or your Coinbase, no, there's so many of them now.
Yeah, they have
If you can move those between an exchange and let's call it like a minute, then the transaction time has decreased from a couple of days. If you had really good connections at the bank and they loved you, it's gone from a couple of days to a minute or maybe seconds.
right.
So I guess we should see the spreads on exchanges decrease because of that.
Yeah.
So man, I'm all for it.
What's interesting, I think, is I was reading. So there was like a report. So I actually did a podcast episode about this with Matt Aaron from the Bitcoin.com podcast network.
Yeah.
Where we looked at it a little bit more, but the blockchain.info.
Blockchain.info and blockchain.com is the same thing now.
Yeah. Okay. So they released a report going through like breaking down stablecoins, and they were just talking about, there's like 45 in circulation now. So basis, is it basis? That's like they've raised the most money out of any stablecoin. I think it's 130 million, but they're still pre-launched. They've not launched it yet.
But is it a stable coin like a smart contract, or is it an IOU like Circle USD or Tether USD?
It's a smart contract. It's algorithmic based.
Oh, I see. So it's an actual stable coin. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think the most famous one is called Maker
Make
or
it DAO,
DAI,
right?
DAI,
Okay.
and that's been the most popular one.
Mm,
But I'm pretty skeptical on the algorithmic ones because the saying is that the peg will always hold until the peg doesn't hold,
yeah.
which means it'll look really nice and stable, like having money in a bank account, until the peg breaks, like when the national currency that's pegged to the dollar, like Argentina, when it breaks, and then it doesn't break a little bit, like it breaks in a spectacle where the pegged currency goes to zero.
Yeah.
So you don't really know if it works, and you don't really know how well it works until the point where it's too late to realize that it's not working.
Yeah. I guess
But
so.
yeah, I interrupted you. Tell me what you thought about this basis.
Oh no, it was just I think it's still yet to be proven, but it's just interesting how much money is being invested in stable coins right now. But I think there's like 45 that are floating around right now that are kind of pre-launch or close to launch. But I
You
guess
can
like
tell it's a bear market when we're basically reinventing fiat on the blockchain.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got the phone.
Yeah, it's interesting. But speaking of interesting things in that are happening during a bear market, there's been some imposter alerts in the community.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
Monero have had a guy who's been featured on the front page of Forbes. He's called Ezekiel Osborne, who's came out and said that he's the founder of Monero. Something which Fluffy Pony strongly refutes and says he's never heard of the guy before. But
Which is funny because Fluffy has always been like a reluctant or anti-leader of Monero.
So he's kind of
Like
been
he's
forced into it a little bit, right?
yeah, he's the anti-leader, but now somebody shows up claiming to be the leader. So now he has to say they're not the leader while at the same time not being the leader himself.
Oh God, no, it's
Poor
interesting though.
Nietzsche.
Like, it's so crazy that someone can. I guess you can pull that off, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's gonna get a ton of interesting things happening because he's claimed he's the founder of Monero.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine, like, he's going to be invited to conferences, and no matter how much you debunk it, like, well, if no one invented it, then why not him?
Yeah, it's a big money making opportunity for sure. Literally, just
Yeah.
sounds like it's like
Good for him.
yeah, it's like Craig Wright 2.0, right? But a little less kind
Yeah.
of. I don't know. Maybe there is some more ego in there, but it seems a little less ego right now. But we'll see. Maybe it'll surface a later date.
We're gonna follow this guy. We're gonna see what's up.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Be cool. And then also, I guess another thing to speak about is speaking of privacy coins. We mentioned this briefly before we got on the live stream, but it's interesting that through the Shitcoin newsletters. So every week, just to give you guys a lowdown on how it works, Andreas shares like what he's been reading, and I break it down, format it, make it a bit kind of group everything together and flow in newsletter format.
You can say that you make it funny. That's okay.
Okay, yeah, I make it funny. But one of the running themes is that there is always a focus on privacy coins, and there seems to be room for them in the newsletter. What's your thought on privacy coins in the space, and how important is that as a feature?
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is when I got into Bitcoin, I think it's like 2011. Then Bitcoin, I got to be honest, I thought it was private. I thought it was anonymous. And practically it was, because nobody knew how to trace transactions or to group addresses to figure out who owns the wallet. Nobody knew how to do that stuff. But since then, I mean, there's all of these startups like Coin and Chainalysis and many others. And what they do is they're basically trying to monitor the network. So they connect to all of the nodes they can and ask them very clever questions like, hey, have you heard of this address? You ask the software and it replies yes or no. And you ask another node, have you heard of it? So you're trying to figure out like who's connected. And they play these tricks on wallets where they make you reveal your addresses through some very clever techniques, which is which analysis through something called Bloom filters, but it gets a little technical. So the problem is, like, Bitcoin hasn't had any innovation in terms of privacy since pretty much back then. There's been some minor ones making these SPV wallets more safe, but like not doing great. So, the Chainalysis and the likes and the cops are getting really good at tracing, and we're not getting better privacy in Bitcoin.
Yep.
So right now they're winning, and this is why you keep seeing like people are launching privacy coins. You could possibly say Dash, but definitely Monero and definitely Zcash, and also Zcoin that I used to be involved in around launch. And they're getting traction because they're picking up the slack that we're not dealing with a Bitcoin, which is why I'm very happy that our dear friend Josh, it's Josh Ellithorpe, right?
Right, from Coinbase.
He's an engineer at Coinbase. Yeah, we both know him. He's been working on this thing called Cash Shuffle, which I think is a modified version of CoinJoin. And as far as I know, they are working actively on putting this into the Bitcoin.com Bitcoin Cash wallet.
Yeah.
And what the Cash Shuffle does is when you send a transaction, it basically finds other people who also want to send transactions at the same time. And it mixes all of your inputs, like the money going into transaction, mix them together and sends them out in a very confusing way.
Right.
So it's very tough to see whose input corresponds to which output in transaction. And this I'm pretty sure it was Gregory Maxwell who pioneered some of this work.
Gmax.
Which totally makes sense. I mean, he's literally the best programmer in the universe. So I'm pretty excited to see that happen. If when it's ready, I expect it to be as simple as when you send a transaction, you just choose private or not private. And because the fees in Bitcoin Cash are so long, you're not going to notice.
Yeah.
But if you did this like when Bitcoin blocks were full and transactions ran at like $50 a piece, I mean, you would have been destroyed because they're much more expensive transactions than normal ones, if I remember correctly. So I think that's a place where I think we're going to see Bitcoin Cash try to fight Bitcoin Core in terms of features. Maybe I would say in 2019.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right?
Unless Monero or Zcash just kills us.
Yeah. It seems to be one of those things that from my perspective, people have been into Bitcoin for a while. Like the Bitcoin OGs of the community, everyone seems to see privacy as such a key feature of why they got into it. Not that they're trying to hide anything, but it should be an option, right? So it's interesting that it's kind of got pushed to the side, but it's still kind of always there. It's always going to be a thing.
I mean, it's so easy. It's so easy to visualize. Send a transaction and go on a block explorer.
Yeah,
and you can see where it comes from. Depending on which wallet you use, anybody who has that link, which is public on the blockchain, can see how much money you have in your wallet. So it's arguably worse than a bank account.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You just said something there that is really, really interesting. I had an experience this week where I was having to explain to a financial company. It was actually Revolut, so they do crypto. But I had to explain to them about Bitcoin transactions. But it was so strange speaking to like a company that is in a financial business about your Tix ID. It was so strange. And they still didn't really have a clue, but they're a company that actually have like a trading, you don't hold the keys, but like a trading platform. And it's really interesting having to have those conversations now. You can see businesses trying to like get a bit smarter about it, but still so far to go as well. But it's yeah. Just trying to explain to someone. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's better to deal with it now because, I mean, the way you know that we have a problem with privacy is the day where everybody in the US opens up their mailbox and there is everybody in the US opens up their mailbox and there's a letter from the IRS that says, hey, we know how much Bitcoin you have and we can just back calculate the gains. So you owe this much.
Yeah.
And it's like I said about the stable coins, right? The peg hold until the peg doesn't hold anymore. So with privacy, your coins are private and safe until the day where they are the complete opposite. And it could be very sudden. So I think it's just a worthwhile gamble to focus on privacy now.
Yeah.
So you don't end up in a very strange situation.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, you
it's
figure
good.
out that everybody's been monitored for years and you didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So you've been outsmarted by the most stupid people in the world.
The slowest and most stupid.
Yeah. The worst funded, most incompetent people in the world just outsmarted like people invented internet money. That would just be so sad.
Well, I think we pretty much covered everything this week. There was obviously a few more juicy details in the newsletter. So remember, guys, if you go check that out, shitcoin.com/newsletter. Also, you'll find the lightning reviews and everything else on shitcoin.com. Literally hours, well, weeks went into those. So it's interesting to dive into them.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm pretty open to suggestions. If people have something you want me to review, then I'll think about it.
Yep.
But don't tell me some ICO you're bag holding, because it's got to be something real.
Needs to be a legitimate project.
It has to at least appear like it could work.
Right. Yeah.
So I can at least have a disappointment.
You don't want to be hitting your head against the wall again.
You can just say IOTA, it's fine, we all know it.
But yeah, thanks again for your time, Andreas. I will I'm sure we'll be speaking more in the week. And yeah, this has been fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. And the newsletter will be getting shipped in the next couple of hours. So stay tuned for that one, guys.
Oh, you're working even on the weekends.
Yeah, work never sleeps, man. Bitcoin never sleeps. Bitcoin never sleeps.
That is true. All right, thank you.